Chris Watkin here with John Paul from Castledene in the North East, Sunday Times multi-agent winner. We've been talking over a series of videos, the 3 things that you're going to do to beat the tenant fee ban. And in the previous video we talked about systemization, and in the last one we talked about marketing, and this is the last one, which is acquisitions.
Yeah.
So where do you see acquisitions in 2018 going forward?
I think there's going to be a massive opportunity, absolutely huge.
Really?
Oh, unbelievable. Well, the big boys aren't buying as many.
That's right.
So a few of them are in a little bit of dire straits. Poor management, poorly led, whatever you want to call it. The middle-sized ones are more panicking about the fees. So it's going to be the smaller independents. If you've got a bit of a cash reserves or you've got a bit of a treasure chest, excuse me, you're going to have the bigger opportunities.
Get some water down, you make one. So how would you go about, obviously not in the North East because you're doing this yourself.
Yeah.
How would you go about making overtones to buy it? Do you just bring them up?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. Start telling everybody you're in the market. So straight away.
What, even the competition?
Absolutely, why wouldn't you? You don't, right, the letting agency and estate agency owners are full of shit, right? Everybody tells you.
Is that a technical
That's a technical term, right? Everybody tells each other how they're doing. You see it on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing
brilliant,
awesome.
I'm marvellous.
Everyone's selling 1,000 houses a week. Everybody's renting 1,000,000 houses a week. It's a load of crap. If you understood the amount of agencies that we've gone into to look to buy, and we've refused them because they're not worth the paper they're written on, but they're telling everyone on Facebook, sold another 15 houses, done this, done that. Rubbish. So first and foremost is don't believe the hype. Don't believe that everybody is doing brilliantly, right? Never ever compare yourselves to anybody else unless it's to inspire you to get to the next level. Secondly, just approach them. Either do it yourself or get your accountant or your solicitor to do it. If you think that there could be a conflict of interest, or someone might say, "Oh, it's Chris Watkin, I'll never sell to him," or it's John Paul. Just get your solicitor or accountant, write a nice little letter, we're acting on behalf of a client, successful at acquiring businesses. Would you like a chat? Obviously, offer an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so you know can't get out of that particular room when you do go to talk to them, and literally just sit down and have a chat with them. And one thing I would say is never ever discuss price on the first couple of meetings.
Really?
Never. We never do. I never say it. I don't even ask them what they want.
So what do you discuss?
The financials. So we discuss the financials. By then we'll have already had at least 3 years worth of figures, because I don't care what they want. I'll pay them
what you think it's worth.
Yeah, it's got to be worth what it's worth to me. And if it's worth what I think, I'll get the finance for it. If it's what they want and I don't think it's worth it, then no bank or no investor or equity firm will ever invest with you.
And the tenant fee ban, does that mean that you're having to pay a little bit less for them nowadays, do you think?
Yeah. We were already speaking to people who were offering, we're actually using that. Oh, well, we had 2 approaches in the last couple of weeks saying, I know I'm not going to get what I want for it because of the tenant fee ban. They're telling us. That's a mindset straight away.
Well, that means you can knock it off again, twice.
Again, yeah. And then the second thing is that we're going to them, and then there was one agency who had heard about it but didn't know it was coming out. We said, "Oh, the tenant admin fee ban," explained it, showed them the tenant bill.
You're telling me a letting agent didn't know about the tenant fee ban?
Yeah. It heard about it, but didn't know what it was, if it would affect them. And it was the week the tenant bill came out. So we showed them the bill and said, "So what? You know, we're not going to be offering you top whack for business, but we'll find out if you want top whack, we'll leave." No. Let's progress it. Let's progress it. So we get the figures. We've already had some of them. We do our workings out. Is it a portfolio acquisition? Is it a new branch acquisition? And then we just work the figures out and go back to them.
Is there a certain age range or a profile of a letting agent that's looking to sell at the moment?
From my experience, you've always got the older ones looking to sell. So you've always got the ones in 20 years plus looking to get out. If you're an agent that's been in the game 20, 25 years, you're going to be late 50s, 60s in the main. You will get a couple of guys who set out, you know, very early 20s. But even I was nearly 30 when I set up. So, you know, 50 if it was 20, 25 years later on.
And buying limited company or the goodwill?
It totally depends. So if you're buying the limited company, that means you're very, very secure in the name, the reputation, you've done your due diligence, financial, legal, operational, you're happy with everything. The advantage for, although I've got to say I'm not an accountant or tax advisor, have to get that caveat in, is that you get entrepreneurs tax relief when you're selling.
Yes.
So it's only 10% up to a certain level. If you want to buy the portfolio, that's better because you can pick and choose what assets or liabilities that you take on. And also it's really good if you've got an existing branch in a certain area, you can just basically buy the book, toot you one of the staff over or two of them or whatever it is.
Where are the pitfalls?
Not doing enough due diligence and not getting good advisors. We upgraded our advisors probably about 5-6 years ago when we really started to buy portfolios, and they paid for themselves within the first couple of acquisitions, just because they were pointing out things that I wasn't aware of. I mean, I'm not an accountant, I can read a balance sheet, I know cash flows and P&Ls, but that's what we pay the experts for. So they when we upgraded it straight away, we saw immediate effect. But your due diligence in this process, it's got to be spot on.
What does that look like?
Due diligence, a huge, massive, I won't swear, questionnaire, going into a branch, taking a high percentage of the files, both for sales and lettings, going through them, all the compliance issues, things like looking at the contracts, getting your legal team to look over them. So you've got a management agreement, your contracts with all the photocopiers, is there any tax covenants, warranties, that type of thing, how long you're tied into the contracts. There's a ton of things you've got to look through.
And do you pay the full whack or do you hold some back?
Never ever paid the full whack, ever. Because in this game, basically the business could be put on a memory stick and started up the next day, next door to you. So apart from you getting the normal non-compete and confidentiality clauses, you also want to pay as little as you can up front. You know, we try for between, you obviously try for as little, but you know if you offer people 20% up front, it's never going to work. So you pay maybe 50 to 70% up front, and you try and get the rest deferred over a period of time.
Then at least it pays for itself out of the profits.
Out of the profits, yeah. Especially if you go in and you know what efficiencies and savings and synergies you can make, even such as this. So we've got, got the 7 branches, 7th one completes today, and we've got offers on 3 more. One's going to tell us to go away, I know he is, but one out of the other 2 might complete, and then we're looking for other startups and other acquisitions. But things like your photocopier. So when we, about a year ago, we put them all on one company, we saved like £4,500 a year. We're getting new cars for the fleet. We're saving like 15 grand on insurance and petrol because we've just really economised, and it's the economies of scale can help save you more money.
And do you tend to buy ones in the same town and bring the portfolio in, or do you tend to buy stuff in new towns and rebrand?
It depends again.
Or have you kept something and kept the old brand?
We've kept the old brand. So for example, we bought a really good one called Hegarty's. That's been going since 2003. Sells a lot of houses, does a bit of lettings. We kept that as Hegarty's. The one we've completed on today is called Gordon Lamb. That's been going for 35 years. That does a lot of sales, little lettings and a lot of financial services. So we bought it to understand how the FS looks, and we're going to implement that into the rest of the business, at the same time improving the sales and at the same time vastly improving the lettings portfolio.
Good, good. Any other tips for the guys out there? Get
looking, tell as many people as you can, approach many people as you can, and be as professional as you can with it, and just get going. You don't necessarily have to buy the first one. We've probably looked at 130, 140. We've bought like 11. So we've looked at tons, and we've turned them around. And have your parameters, your formulas, your criteria, and if it doesn't stick, walk away.
You ought to run a course because let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there working on behalf of the sellers, but there's no one working on behalf of the buyers.
Yeah. Come on my mastermind, I'll tell you all about it.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks.